I hate these people.
Yep.
Like, what a
Mm.
waste of life, if nothing else. I just can't get over it. Anyway, let's try and lighten the mood, I guess.
Sorry, I'm cooling my temperature.
Yeah. So this podcast is going to be a mess because of this. All right, let's try. Let's soldier on.
We can do it, Callum.
Yeah. The migrants are leaving. At least some of them. They've caught the same disease that young British people have of looking outside and being like, hang on a minute.
Well,
This sucks.
they've got this Christmas virus going around that we've got, have they?
Yeah, well, they looked out and they're all sick and they're like, oh my God, I live in Britain. Ugh. So I
do that every morning, yeah.
So the decline is a repatriation strategy.
I don't know. I'm not here with any kind of strategy. I'm not here with any kind of thoughts. I'm just head empty looking at what's happening.
Hi folks, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to announce that we have a new line of merch in our merch store. The merch store was kind of empty for a while, and so I thought, right, okay, what do I actually want on shirts? And so I just went through some of the most epic and true things that I think that historical people have said, and John managed to make an amazing set of merch out of it. And we will have extra things coming in the store, such as posters for these to go on. Thanks for everything, folks. Now back to the video.
What's happening is usually stuff like this, right? I mean, we're pretty used to this. Some, newspaper publishers, hey, if you're young, you get the hell out. UK sucks. You know those American memes that are like, ugh, British. There's a cycle in between like loving Britain and then hating it in the American culture. And what's kind of funny is that that's now a pretty stock standard, British culture as well. It's like, ugh.
Yep,
This is kind of a mess.
You got people in the Telegraph, Denethor posting, along with Peter Hitchens in the Mail. I think he writes for, doesn't he?
Yep.
Mail on Sunday.
Just become a universal man, a man of anywhere, totally rootless. Never mind the fact that global homogenization will literally chase you to the ends of the earth.
Well, it's not about that. It's just about, man, this sucks if you want to make money for sure. And you can see it at least in the data. I mean, this guy argues here, for example, and the UK is not so much stagnating as it is fossilizing. 15 years of anemic growth mean that real wages are still below the 2008 peak. There are 30-year-olds who have not seen in their entire working career a single meaningful growth in wages. That's just true.
I'm 28, and yes.
Can relate.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone our age can relate to that. It's just like, man, this doesn't work. Like, whatever we're living in isn't impressive.
I was better off when I was living with my parents on minimum wage, like when I was 17.
I mean, it's just kind of weird as well, that thing about 2008 being like the golden age for Britain. We've never got anywhere near it again in terms of actual wages.
A friend of mine has said, so she works in finance and she makes decent money, but loads of people I know are like this. She's just suggested, why am I even saving for a house deposit now? Because inflation is going to outpace all my savings so much that I don't even believe I'm going to be able to pay for a mortgage. Why don't we just move into a flat with all of our mates and just take the piss for a few years until the collapse comes? And it's really hard resisting that. Because,
It's really common as well.
Yeah.
Like, you find that very often where people are like, I just burn all my money. Screw it.
Why don't we just return to Anglo-Saxons in the woods? We all go out in the woods and we build a society and then come back.
To Dartmoor, all right?
You're going to join me in my return to hunting and gathering again.
But this guy, he goes on and he makes this fantastic point, which is irritatingly true, which he says, American levels of prosperity are so far out of reach that we would need an economic Apollo mission to bridge the gap between us. The general manager of a Buc-ee's petrol station in Texas is paid more than our prime minister.
What?
Which is true. Buc-ee's is amazing, to be fair. It's not just an Esso. Do you know what Buc-ee's is?
They weren't in any of the
It's like
states,
a supermarket style gas station, isn't it?
They're bloody massive.
Mm.
Obviously, they're for Texas and those southern states. So they're huge. I mean, I don't know how many cars you get in one, like maybe 100.
They serve food as well, don't they?
And the place where you go in to pay is not just, selling Twixes. They've got a proper mall and loads of Bucky merch as well. You can buy pharmaceuticals, food. It's amazing thing.
I even saw a video of them having a mascot in one of them, like someone in a suit. Which, to my mind, having a mascot in a petrol station is sort of unfathomable.
I might just go to America.
But it's true as well. I mean, this is just the factual issues. And as I say, this isn't news for a lot of people who are young British. I mean, the data here is also just pretty sad. I mean, here's a guy comparing UK and US nurses. So a UK nurse starts on 24k British pounds there, and then can go up to 37. Whereas an American nurse, the average is 73 grand US, which, the difference. He converts that into British pounds, obviously. It's like, okay,
So much better, isn't it?
but that's a well-known meme.
And the cost of living and houses are cheaper,
Yeah,
depending on where you're living.
The average
Yeah,
wage in
that's
America as well is about double that of the UK. I understand they've got a much larger population, etc., but it's just a better standard of life.
I know you're getting a lot of asylum seekers, America, but can you accept a few more? I mean, we're not all bad.
I feel like the mother country would be a much better tier of migrant than foreign country we've never interacted with.
They
Just
also
saying.
really like our accents. When I was out there and doing speeches and whatnot,
You're
I had-
worth more.
well, I genuinely had 2 or 3 people come up to me and give me the exact same sentence. They were like, "Yeah, bro, your accent adds like 10 IQ points."
It's
They-
a real
They just
thing.
love us.
But there's no advantage to being your native nationality in your country.
Mhm.
But once you go abroad, depending on your nationality, it suddenly can become an advantage.
Some of us are even good people.
Yeah, and it's not the only one. Here's doctors, I think, physician in the United States versus the UK. On average, in the US, a physician earns 300 grand. Germany, 180 grand. The UK, 138 grand. So,
Blimey.
it's grim. And I love how this is literally Zoidberg. It's just like, I thought being a doctor would make me rich. I thought becoming a nurse would. No. You forget state-run healthcare. It's great. And this isn't just for the state-run healthcare situation. I saw this tweet, just made me laugh. It was like, chief financial officer. This is, 5 years ago as well. 97,000 in the UK and in the US. It's like, yeah, average, 200K. Nothing small. So, all right, whatever.
This is like you've found a way to give me the ultimate black pill
Yeah.
before Christmas. I'm
I'm-
going to be sat at home crying into my mince pies.
I'm so
thanks
glad
to
we
you.
get to drink at Lads Hour after this. Bloody hell.
I'm just trying to reinforce that point that the guy made there to see if it's true or not. If the difference between prosperity between the United States and average versus the UK and average, is it true that it really is that? It is. It is that vast of a difference. And this has been going on for ages. You may remember Peter Hitchens, 7 years ago, being like, leave, it's over. There is no hope.
Run,
I'm
flee
done.
for your lives.
I just want to say, I coined Denethor posting, and I just think it fits so well.
Mm.
And then it's going on even longer than that. It's 2013, before Brexit, in which Peter's just like, it's over. It's never been more over. Trust me. You can't get more over than this. And then it somehow got more over. Sad. And then you see the news of like Jordan Peterson being like, the UK is going to become Venezuela. And on a usual day, I'd think, okay, right winger being a bit exaggerated.
Hyperbole, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of hyperbole. No, I read that headline when it popped up on my phone and just went,
That's optimistic,
he's
if
probably-
anything.
yeah, there's not a 0% chance of that.
Anyone have an oil drum that I can practice roasting a cat over?
So yeah, it does kind of suck. And well, that's something, right? That's a thing. I mean, I saw this floating around a lot, which then made me realize that maybe there's something more to just the British people being like, I want to leave. You can see here for people listening, it's like a crime against the eyes in terms of thumbnails. It's a lady here who has titled her video, "Why People Are Leaving UK." Fire emoji. I am planning to leave UK. Reasons. So I hate Normie Yuchu with a passion.
It's just missing the big red arrow and the
Yeah.
circle. And
She's cut
Pointing
herself
to the
up.
person, yeah.
She's shoved the British flag in the corner, but it's cut up by the subscribe symbol. And then there's Arabic writing and English writing, and whatever. I'd go on forever talking about aesthetics.
even her glasses are crooked.
Crap. Of all the issues, I think that is the least one. But you are correct. Which sort out your camera.
She
work.
got them on the NHS, that's why they're rubbish.
Well, probably not, because
Oh, right.
I watched the video, and this video is just her whining. But the thing is, if you want to understand it, you've got to put on captions, and the captions are in Hindi, because she's speaking either Hindi or English, depending on which word she wants to use. This is a weird thing with Indians. A lot of them do this.
She's Indian?
I presume she's speaking Hindi.
Well, Pakistani, maybe?
I don't know. Yeah,
They,
a lot
uh,
of
they,
Muslim
they
Indians.
speak lots of other languages as well, don't they?
Schrodinger's subcontinent.
Well, I'm pretty sure Hindi and Urdu are basically the same. Because
Okay.
I've had colleagues or friends who, like, one of them's from Pakistan, one's from India, and Pakistani one was bitching about us at university, and our friend who was India would just put up his ear to the door. I heard it all and was translating it for us because it's basically the same language, just with a different script.
I bet they couldn't be in the same room together as well. Pakistani and an Indian, it's like leaving a dog and a cat unattended.
The Indian was more fun. But anyway, so you have to go here and then you have to auto translate it to English. So I'm sorry if it's a bit of a mess. I love how I'm turning into like YouTube.
Inshallah, we shall flee. That's what it says.
Well, no, she's listing the reasons why it sucks. And I mean, as you can see there, one of the big factors is the NHS health system. And then she goes on to say that it's just terrible. It's just not good.
Oh, you too.
I was like,
Mm.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And she says that the cost of nursery, so if you have a child and then want a career, the cost of the nursery means that actually she's only getting paid for 2 of the 5 work days. 3 of her work days, she literally just goes to work to pay for the nursery for a child.
But don't worry, as Jeremy Hunt has just introduced, he's subsidizing, I think it's 30 hours a week of childcare from 9 months to 3 years. So we can import more foreigners in to take care of your kids. Aren't you happy about that, Callum?
Well, that'll just make more drag on the ability to have nurseries, which will just up the costs. And
Just nurseries.
why have they never?
They do. It's just GDP, more money changing hands. Never mind that nurseries are a hellscape for children.
Britain is just
What if
like
I subsidize demand? What if I subsidize demand? I mean, it's literally everything: the houses, the nurseries. That is the economic model.
Britain is just like a taxation battery farm at this point. We only exist to have our money kind of sucked out of us and our life, apparently.
Well, that's one of her complaints. Is that she lists that, okay, well, now I've got to get this work visa, so it's a minimum threshold of 38,700, which I got pet peeves. I got one on my mind right now. It's just when I'm talking to someone who's foreign and the English skills are, because I mean, I have this when I speak Russian, but they don't say 38,700, it's 38,700. I mean, the guy who got me coffee this morning, well, he said the price was 260. Whatever. Sorry.
It reminds me of when people say, oh, that was February 7. 7 what? The 7th of? 7th of?
Pull out my hatchet and I solve the problem. Anyway, no, but she says that nursery's problem, the NHS is crap, and the work salary threshold means that it's more expensive to actually get that. Now, she's a PhD student, so I don't think she even needs that. She has a visa for being a student, so whatever. But she's like, yeah, I'm probably done with this place. Me and my husband and our kid are probably going to leave once I've done this PhD. So, yeah. Alrighty then.
I'm so glad we pumped so many resources into you.
Well, she has a YouTube channel, and she makes a lot of videos.
Not my type.
And again, we really are into that weird part of YouTube. Like, I don't know why we've got random Arabic when she's apparently Hindi. I don't know what's going on. The foreign world is always amazing.
I just did see a video that says no come to UK, no jobs. And it's like, yep, true.
It's all in broken English as well, which is just, okay.
We know one UK.
But it's endless. As you can see, it's all about visas or jobs in the UK and blah, blah, blah. This lady in particular here. But there are loads of these. Like, if you look up why people are leaving UK with your nice broken English, you will get lots and lots of videos, and especially women who are just like, this sucks.
If you type like a Cunley Druckper tweet, this is a bottomless well of first-hand accounts.
Have you guys not seen that with, if you go on Google, you type in, are we getting and is we getting? You get very different results. Because are we getting is obviously Anglo-Americans, and then is we getting, you just get is we getting welfare check. It's just like, oh my God. And it's been true for 10, 20 years on Google. They've never censored it.
You get the same thing if you spell ask the proper way versus the phonetically pronounced way with the kissed teeth.
I don't know. We
Asked.
try it. I want to also try finna and just see what comes up with that one. But
Try what?
finna. You don't know what finna means? It's the weird thing. We'll deal with it another time, I reckon. Because I don't really know either, looking at it. Basically, Black Americans, they use it to mean, are you going to do? So it just comes out, whatever, it's weird.
What's the I don't want to derail. What is the etymology of that?
Is it close to gunner?
What's gonna?
Finna? Gunner finna do?
Are you having a stroke?
I do smell toast.
Dr. Seuss, like.
Oh, it's a mess. But, I mean, there are loads of these videos. I mean, this is one as well that is just similar. This one's rather funny because she's actually complaining here that the LGBTs...
And the drug culture. So she hates you, Josh.
Yeah. She then goes
Oi. Just because I'm on paracetamol because I'm not very well.
She then goes on to say that sex education is given to children at primary school. And she's like, well, I have a child, so I'm leaving. It's just like, okay.
I'll vote for you, love.
It's interesting, to say the least. And
must watch reads like a threat.
Yeah. But we're going to go to Carl because he did a nice little thread on this. Because I sent him the screenshot of the first video, and he did a little deep dive, just getting all these up. And as you can see, he's just like, man, the migrants are self-deporting, which, yep. I mean, that's something.
Well, I mean, a lot of them are here only for the economy. It's not that they've got any sort of camaraderie with our culture. And so the only people that are going to be remaining are either the people that are too poor to leave, or the people who've got a sentimental attachment to British culture like I do. You know, it's that's all that's going to be left, a husk.
We don't have to trust you. We can trust her because she tells us exactly what you just said.
Oh, good. a more trustworthy source, I imagine.
Well, she literally just says, people believe that in Britain there's a high standard of living and high income, so that's why we came here. And then it's like, oh no, it's crap. We thought the
Fake
stuff was free.
news.
The medical facilities available to us were free, right? And it's just like, no.
It's a lie made up by big people trafficking.
To find out who rules you.
Big dinghy cannot be criticised.
What's behind this? An Albanian.
Seriously, the eternal problem. But there's loads of these. I mean, like this one earlier mentioned. She's not, the UK isn't what it used to be. Can anyone riddle as to why?
And relate.
What might have happened?
Something happened.
I would not. Yeah, even the migrants are like, something happened in the 1990s that made this place awful. I can't.
Particularly 97.
Yeah, all these videos appearing in Tom Harwood's feed, just like, I can't work it out.
I was on a plane to Serbia, and there was some Hungarian lady with me, and she had come in the 90s, and she was bitching to me how things have gotten really bad since the 90s, and I'm just like, yeah, lady, you have any idea why? It's just like, I don't know, it's conservatives. I'm like, I mean,
she's right in a way.
Kind of true, but she didn't get.
Must be Miriam Cates' fault.
Yeah, she was voting Orban, weirdly enough. But in the UK, she's like, not
Jesus, I see what you've done for other places, and I want it for me too.
The national rule of immigration is vote right wing at home, and left wing while away.
I don't know who would do that. Like, no British people are going to America and being like, I'm voting Democrat, but then I don't know, Britain first back home.
Probably there are actually.
I don't know. I think those are usually
accelerationists, maybe. I don't know.
Either way, I mean, it goes on, saying here, for example, instead of taking benefits from the government, instead of getting free things, it's like they're literally leaving because they can't sponge off us. And then he goes on to the LGBT point. But there's this one as well. The woke stuff is sharing off the Muslims. Sorry, scaring off the Muslims. Which,
you know what? I've changed my mind on wokeness. I take it all back.
I don't know how to. That's what I don't know how to feel about this.
Next, you're gonna see me in makeup. I'm gonna have a rainbow flag as like a cape.
I'm not accepting trans kids as a sacrifice to get Intifada out of London. I'm just not taking that Hobson's choice.
Well, I think there's a third option on the table, which is that the tourism board. I mean, I don't know why they exist. I mean, I'm on the Afuera with that. But if they're gonna exist, surely they should be making YouTube videos like this. They're just like, come to Britain, look how diverse it is.
Come to Britain, we're going to make you gayer than you ever were before, even if you're already gay.
And just take those adverts and only play them in the Islamic world. And just so that for some reason, immigration falls off a cliff.
It's like the opposite of companies like Bethesda when they run the Pride Month campaign in their Middle Eastern departments don't have a flag. We do the opposite.
Yeah, we'll literally go pay for YouTube adverts in all Islamic countries just for the UK tourism board. But anyway,
just show them footage of Brighton and say that's the rest of the UK as well.
I do love this one here that Carl makes. It's like the English actually don't like any of this, but it keeps happening. It's like the immigrants all know that none of us in the population have the same ideas as the elites. It's them imposing on us. And the last one here is just some guy just being like, man, the quality of life in the UK isn't that good.
And he's wearing a Black Panther t-shirt.
It's just like, this just can't be like, don't we know it, mate? Yeah, I don't know why.
Of all of the films to have a T-shirt for, even I don't watch any superhero films, and even I know that was
of the Black Ethno State.
Yeah,
particularly the Black Ethno State. I just
that looks like London behind as well.
Well, I watched a whole bunch of these, and there's a consistent complaint series, which is that yes, that none of the freebies you think are actually that available. You have to be one of the dingy people to properly get the freebies. If you just come here and pay the surcharge for the healthcare system,
you need to leave and come back again. That's the trick.
Yeah. I mean, we were trying to convince Miles to do that a while back.
Yeah, we crowdsource the Rubber Duck Boys.
Yeah, we just get buses and go back and forth. But the quality of life kind of shit, because it turns out you read on paper that it's like 10 times the income of an Indian, but then you get here and it's like everything's 20 times the cost. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts, except mostly snakes. And then there's the situation of like, man, the weather goddamn sucks. Which, to be honest, I can very much appreciate right now.
Yeah, it's horrid.
Getting up in the dark is genuinely giving me seasonal depression.
Because I do think
we get to work, it's dark. We leave, it's dark. But sorry, do carry on.
Well, I met this guy in Tenerife, and he's 50 something. He's British, and he brought a house out there, and he just lives there all the time. And I was asking him, so is the weather really that big of a difference? And he's like, man, it's great. There is something to being a 50-year-old boomer who just disappears to a magical.
They probably bloat up like a walrus and just tan in the sun. They cook like a slow cooked joint of pork or something, just out on the beach somewhere, full of booze.
Oh, they got British skin, so they are going to turn red.
Mm-hmm.
Rotisserie bads.
Yeah, literally. But anyway, it's definitely a thing, to say the least. I don't know what to make of this news. I guess it's just a further condemnation of the country that even the migrants are like, man, I prefer Malaysia to this.
I know what to make of it. You've bloody depressed me, Callum.
Yeah, but it's not wrong either. Like, me and Dan were talking about traveling to the east, the non-Western countries.
I think Dan goes for very different reasons.
But you end up with a similar outcome, which is that ever since the 90s, for us is obviously a very different story, but for most of those countries, like the globalization, the mass movement of all of our t-shirt production being out there, raising the standard of living to the point that now...
That's the industry.
Well, it started out, yeah. I mean, Bangladesh, India, Malaysia...
do a lot
Vietnam.
of pharmaceuticals out in subcontinent as well, don't they?
Sure.
Sorry.
But the whole, like, those industries building up, I mean, now it's been 30-odd years since then, in which case you can get a massive lower standard of living... a massive higher standard of living for the same cost in those countries. So the whole drive for those people to come here isn't actually as cool as we think it is, or they even think it is. And now are assessing their situation and being like, I'm going home. I can't blame them.
I'm going to do like a reverse Raj on India, but move over there.
There aren't enough of us. I mean, unless we start...
We did it once, Callum. We can do it again.
Unless we bang like rabbits, we're not going to get anywhere near the population level of Indians. If you've never sat down...
I'm willing to take, Callum.
Josh coming out on the pro-banging Indians position.
I didn't say that.
Would you like a child? Call in today at contact@Lotus.
If you enjoyed watching that segment from Podcast of the Lotus Eaters, which of course you did, why don't you check out this, which is Bo's latest epochs on Richard the Lionheart, and he's now got to the Crusades, which was probably a good thing, wasn't it? Anyway, you can find out more on lotuseaters.com, where you can follow us for free, and you could also give us some money if you wanted to.